There are 3 exercises that will help you get faster, and if you're not doing them, you're going to get left behind. So in this video, I'm gonna show you what those 3 exercises are, how to do them, why they're so good, and how I implement them in my Speed Academy program to get the best speed results possible. Also, make sure to watch until the end. I'll give you the reps and sets for every exercise at the end. This video is gonna be centered around the ankle. If your ankle cannot resist deformation, which is pretty much the heel collapsing on ground contact when sprinting, then you will simply never be able to run fast. But luckily for you, this is very easy to train. And this is where isometrics is going to be your friend. A lot of athletes' biggest weakness is the plantar flexor. We need to improve this with something called an explosive isometric, usually because the muscle can be the biggest weakness to the tendon being able to store and release elastic energy. When you're sprinting, your tendons are gonna be doing most of the work, but if your muscle's weak, then that's a weak point where you're going to be slacking, especially with the ankle where you do not want that. So explosive isometric, you can either hold a position for 10 to 15 seconds, or you could push into something for 5 to 8 seconds, right? We're gonna do the pushing variation, or what some people call overcoming, where we get into split stance position right here. You can see this Achilles is stretched and loaded, and then we're pushing as hard as possible for 5 to 8 seconds. This is gonna improve motor unit recruitment and max strength in the positions that we want that is very specific to sprinting, right? The best variation obviously is the barbell. We're pushing into pins as hard as possible, but I know a lot of people are not gonna be able to do that, but what that would look like would just be pushing into pins like this in a sprint position. The best variation I would do would be like a calf raise on one foot. You can even do a split stance, right? And then if you want a yielding isometric, this can still be explosive isometric, but we're just holding on to calf raise position. I don't have a lot of stability right here, but you can hold on to this position for 10 to 15 seconds, right? Find a way to make it more stable. You can use dumbbells, 1 dumbbell at a time. What I would do would be the open trap bar, but I'm still building it right now, so I can't use it. So once again, if you're doing an explosive isometric that's overcoming, so you're pushing into something, where you're pushing into pins or into the wall, you're gonna do 5 to 8 seconds, usually around 3 to 4 sets. If you're doing a yielding explosive isometric, you're gonna do 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 15 seconds. If you feel like you're muscle dominant or / knee quad dominant type of style, then these type of isometrics are really important. You also need to make sure that you're pronating well, which is kind of getting that inside edge of your foot and getting a lot of pressure on that inside edge. This will help you if you're very muscle dominant. If you struggle with a weak push off in jumping and sprinting, then this exercise is gonna be a huge game changer for your athletic ability. So if you feel like you have a very weak final push off or rear foot alignment, the posterior tibialis calf raise is very important. The reason why it's posterior is we're actually pushing our heels. It's best to do this with a tennis ball, but I can't find a tennis ball, but I still wanna do this exercise. It's best to push your heels into here and then push off. You can do a normal calf raise, but you're not gonna get the posterior side of it. So we're gonna push our heels into a ball, preferably a tennis ball, or even like one of those bouncy recovery balls. Or pushing as hard as possible while doing the calf raise. The reason why this is really important is because the faster you can access your rear foot, the more power you can put into your sprint from the foot, or what some people call the posterior tibialis. If you feel like you have a weak final push, this is one of the best ways to help access your high gear position in sprinting. Usually for reps and sets, we're gonna go higher rep. So it's gonna be between 8 to 12 reps of 3 to 4 sets of this calf raise. You can even eventually add weight. Once again, I'll probably show a video of me doing it with the tennis ball because that's the best variation, not this volleyball. The hot topic for strength and conditioning recently has been fascia improvement. Is fascia really the game changer you need for your sprint speed? Well, I'm gonna at least give you one exercise to help improve it to see how it helps you. Okay, we're back at the apartment. For this exercise right here, we're gonna be doing a towel crunch. This is gonna get the intrinsic muscles and the fascia going in your lower foot. Now, I'm not like some of those Instagram guys who think fascia is the transformer of your athleticism. I don't think it's the most important thing, but I do think it plays some role and we can train it, target it specifically with these type of exercises. It's gonna be basic towel crunches, right? Right here is a really good way where we're just towel crunching. You could do it a lot of different ways. You could do just, very, very thin towels or very thick towels, or you can even do a t-shirt and just crunch this as hard as possible. You're gonna instantly feel a lot of the under of the foot going really, really hard. You get this type of feeling too when you play a lot of basketball, a lot of 5v5 basketball. You'll feel a lot of pain the next day, or maybe you do a really hard track meet, and the next day you kind of feel like, holy shit, it really, really burns on under my feet. That's usually the fascia means it was overtrained a little bit, but right now we're trying to target it. So you can start off with really, really thin towels, and then you can get really, really thick by double layering something like a little cloth, or you can get an actual towel. I can grab an actual towel, but it's all the same thing at the end of the day. And then Another exercise you can do, and I'm just adding this as a bonus because why not, is you can get into a bent knee position. We can get into this walking position. It's gonna burn the entire lower limb complex where we're squatted and then we raise our toes and then one foot comes up, but the heel doesn't come up. So the foot comes up, then the forefoot comes down, and then we crunch. And then on the other foot, so this is the back leg now, the toe comes up, the forefoot comes up, it rolls forward, keeping the heel stick to the ground, and then forefoot comes down and then crunch. And now we're here, crunch, here, crunch, here, crunch, here, crunch, here, crunch. This is going to blow up your entire lower limb complex, the fascia, and even your tibialis. So you can get a lot of burn in the shins, the fascia, the lower limbs. So it's gonna be really, really good for developing the ankle, especially those intrinsic muscles that get slept on that you might not even get from these other exercises I explained. These exercises are amazing, but you have one issue still, is that you can't get the benefit from these exercises if you don't warm up correctly. So make sure you watch this video right here to learn how to warm up correctly to get the best results for your athleticism.